For being tardy, we had an e-session that ran over, but that'll take us to welcoming you all to the regular meeting on Tuesday, November 21st, 2017. This time we'd like to have you all stand. We're going to have an invocation by Mr. Mike Riggs from the LDS Church, after which we'll have the Pledge of Allegiance, which I will lead us in.
Our Father in heaven, we are grateful to be here in this wonderful day. We're grateful to be coming on to this holiday season and this Thanksgiving season, and we are so grateful for all the wonderful things that we have to be thankful for. We're thankful for this beautiful building that we get to meet in, and for those that have provided leadership to get to the city to the point it is this day. And we ask that they'll continue to be blessed to guide and direct this city in the direction it needs to go for the best for those that live and serve in this community. Father, we are indeed grateful for the men and women that have protected not only the citizens here, the people in this state, throughout this country, and throughout this world. We are indeed grateful for our current servicemen and those veterans that have provided this protection and continue to make a better place for those throughout this world to live. Father, as we go forward through this night, we ask special blessing upon each of us as we're traveling to and from our destination, that we'll be safe. We're grateful for those that participated in this Leadership Academy over the last few weeks, and bless they'll continue to find ways to serve this community, to continue to improve it and make it a better place for each of us to be in. We are grateful for those in our safety sector, Father, and ask a special blessing upon those men and women, that they will continue to be protected and their families protected as the time and energy they're away from their families, that they'll be safe. And again, we are grateful for things, and we ask for these things in thy Savior's name, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate it. That'll take us to the roll call, please.
Councilmember Chapados?
Here.
Councilwoman Gussie?
Here.
Councilmember Manfredi?
Here.
Councilmember Wade?
Here.
Vice Mayor Brown? Councilmember Smith is attending telephonically, and Mayor Price.
Here.
Mr. Mayor, we have a quorum.
Great. Thank you very much. We have a proclamation, and then we have some awards to get to. Terry, are you out there? Where'd you go? There you are. Come on up, Terry. All right. You get to receive this proclamation. Lucky you. So we are doing a small business proclamation today, and many of you are or know many folks that are small business owners. It's a really important key to our economic development. And so today, whereas the City of Maricopa celebrates our local small businesses and the contributions they make to our local economy and community, according to the United States Small Business Administration, there are currently 28.8 million small businesses in the United States, and they represent 99.7% of all businesses with employees in the United States, and are responsible for 63% of net new jobs created over the past 20 years. Whereas small businesses employ 48% of the employees in the private sector in the United States, and on average 33% of consumers' holiday shopping will be done at small, independently owned retailers and restaurants, and whereas 91% of all consumers believe that supporting small, independently owned restaurants and bars is important, and whereas 76% of all consumers plan to go to one or more small businesses as part of their holiday shopping, and whereas the City of Maricopa, Arizona supports our local businesses that create jobs, boost our local economy, and preserve our neighborhoods, and whereas advocacy groups as well as the public and private organizations across the country have endorsed this Saturday after Thanksgiving as Small Business Saturday. Now therefore, I, Christian Price, Mayor of the City of Maricopa, do hereby proclaim November 25th as Small Business Saturday in the City of Maricopa, and urge residents of our community and the communities across the country to support small businesses and merchants on Small Business Saturday and throughout the year. This is dated the 21st day of November 2017. So again, let's give it up for all those who give so much for small businesses. Oh. gonna get a picture. Okay, we're going to move to item 3.2, which is the Maricopa Citizens Leadership Academy Fall 2017 Session Acknowledgement. Jennifer, take it away.
Honorable Mayor and council members, it's my honor to present to you tonight the Fall 2017 graduating class for Maricopa Citizen Leadership Academy. This is the 17th session in the history of the Leadership Academy. That's a lot of sessions since 2008. Councilmember Chapados has on a pin tonight from the first session that looks really cool, and you can see the difference in our logos and things over the years. So far, we've had 271 graduates, and that includes the 21 new graduates that we'll be honoring here tonight. They've been busy for the last couple of months. They had to attend at least 5 of the 6 sessions of the Leadership Academy, attend either a city council meeting or a school board meeting, and attend a board, commission, or committee meeting. So they've been really digging in deep, learning about what all the different departments do, and we wanted to give you tonight just a taste of what they've experienced in this session. So we have one of the scenarios from the public safety night that the police department acted out for them. So I'll go ahead and show you a quick video.
Last warning! Don't get me, please! I'm gonna sit there in the door! Boy! Suspect, bring my dog to me! Come to the sound of my voice! Come to the sound of my voice! Bring my dog to me! Stop moving! Let me get him around, let me get him around. Get the dog around. Off!
So they got to see a lot during their time with us. And each department really did a great job explaining what they did, and I appreciate all the directors stepping up and making their presentations as well. So without further ado, I'd ask you all to come down, and we'll present each graduate with a certificate and a pin and a handshake and honor you. So as soon as we're all down, I will start reading through the names.
If I could just quickly acknowledge Firefighter Pena for being the suspect in that. I think he had as much fun as the dog did.
So as I read your name, please come down and get your certificate and pin, and then please stay up here because we're going to take a group photo of the whole class. So first we have Kelly Ludiage, Karen Bellet, Dave Bach, Amalia Clark, Janasha Cotton, Terry D'Ambrosio, Tony Filicelli, Richard Hedda, Joseph Horin, Carol Matravec, Adam Mayer, Susie Miller, Noor Mirza, Glenn Morrison, Kent Ojon, Susan Randolph, Tommy Ronka, Sherilyn Ryan, Janice Vitali, Catherine Mabluski, and Glenn Zibelman. A big round of applause for our graduates. Thank you all. It was a fun class. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it's been great to have you. Thank you. Yeah. I do want to let you all know that the next Leadership Academy will happen in the spring in April, and you can head to our website, maricopa-az.gov. I should know that, to check out and sign up for the next class. And of course, if anybody has any questions, you can shoot me an email or give me a call. My number is 520-316-6841. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you again to all the graduates. Great job. You know, I know that a lot of us up here have been through that class. It's inspiring. I know that I personally learned a lot from it, and it's a wonderful opportunity to learn more about the details of how the city works. So if you haven't had a chance to do it, I highly encourage you to take that opportunity. It really helps you understand how your city works, where your tax dollars go, how things take place, what the challenges are, and really it gives you just a front row view of what's taking place. So with that, we'll move right into the report from the mayor. At this time, I was going to turn just a few minutes over to Councilmember Chapados.
Thanks, Mayor. As I'm sure you're about to hear, yesterday, my fellow council members and I celebrated a milestone with the groundbreaking of the overpass. We each got a chance to share a few words with you Maricopans, but there's a couple people that I wanted to acknowledge personally that had a huge role in helping to make this happen. One is our former Intergov manager, Paul Jepson, who is now the city manager for the City of Globe, and the other is Mary Witkowski, who is our community programs manager right now with the police department. She's the one that wrote the Tiger Grant, which is not an easy task. So I wanted to make sure that we thank them too specifically for their most vital role in helping us get this project done. The other thing I wanted to share is that, as you know, we now have a brand new arts committee in the city of Maricopa. As of December 7th, the application period will be open. We're looking for 7 people that want to get involved in focusing on the arts. But as a precursor to that, myself and the staff liaison, which will be Eric Serber, our library manager, we're going to be hosting an artist summit and planning calendar information session here at City Hall on Wednesday, January 17th. It's free. It'll be at 7 o'clock here at City Hall. We're going to send out emails. We're going to reach out to all of our database. If you have anything to do with an organization that plans an event, promotes an event, is interested in helping with events, we'd like you here that night for 2 reasons. One, we're going to expand our artist asset inventory. We want to know where the talent is and who the talent is in our city. Secondly, we want to help to start efforts to coordinate an overall planning calendar for a year at a time, so we can help in cross-promoting each other's events so we don't step on each other's major events or major fundraisers during the course of the year. So again, look for more information, look for an email. If you have any questions, please get a hold of me at my council member address or with Eric Serber at the library. We'd love to have you be part of this event. Thanks, Mayor.
Thank you, Councilmember. That takes it to my report. Just as if you were here for the work session, you heard many of our council members report on different things that they were able to attend, at conferences, the different things they've been doing on your behalf. This is my opportunity to do it here, and I just wanted to thank all those who put together the Veterans Day Parade. I thought that was a wonderful event. I think everybody had a great time, something that I know that we as a city have been longing for, but wanting to find that perfect partnership in which the city doesn't necessarily take it on entirely, but rather rather assists and helps, and the private sector does it. And I think that all the citizens of this city that participated and the joint coordination, I think you all did a wonderful job, and I really wanted to commend you and thank you for that. Did a wonderful job. Also, just two other things. I had the opportunity to meet today. I play a dual role as mayor, also soon to be what I think soon to be, unless something goes awry. We're members of the Arizona League of Cities and Towns, which is a lobbying organization of all 91 cities and towns. We have the distinct honor to not only sit on their executive board, which makes the decisions, but we also have the privilege of being the current treasurer of that board. If things go according to the way we think they will this year, that will lead us to being president of that board, which is a real distinct honor. But it's also a lot of extra work, and that work comes in the form of dealing with the legislature. And as we deal with the legislature and the things that we agree on and the things we disagree on, it's how do we find that common ground and help each other understand where we're coming from, and that we share the same constituencies, and that we really do share the same issues and the same problems. And how do we work to take these local issues and raise them to the state capitol and teach them about what we are going through, what we're suffering, what we need help with, and how do we work together to accomplish the greater good. And so I had the opportunity to meet today with Senator Worsley. If you know anything about Senator Worsley, he's out of Mesa. He has a real big transportation buff, and obviously that's been something very much in the limelight here in the city of Maricopa in a variety of ways. Pretty much all of you deal with the 347 in some fashion or not every day, or at least weekly. And so that's something that we're really working closely on with him, is how do we improve the state's transportation projects, the plans, the ideas, and also worked with him today on some additional potential bill language that we'll talk about further as we progress towards the session. But just very initial, starting to develop those relationships and find those allies that we can go to when there's a pinch, when there's a problem, when we need something run that helps us clarify something. Those are really important allies and relationships to have. So I had the opportunity to do that today. Like I've told you in the past, we've met with the Speaker of the House, J.D. Mesnard, as well as the President of the Senate, Mr. Yarborough. So again, we continue to foster those relationships that we know will help us, but we're also moving into positions that they need our help and we need theirs. So it's a great opportunity to leverage those, to put Maricopa front and center as a leader amongst the cities and amongst the state, and move our projects and our things forward. And then last but not least is, as has been mentioned, I ran into Director Halakowski from ADOT, the Arizona Department of Transportation, here last Friday when I went to Wickenburg for their monthly meetings. And the reason I do that is because I continue to understand and know that there is a lot of things that need to be taken care of. And if you're not careful, things can slip away, or you might not be the first on the priority list, or people won't remember things you're doing. And he jokingly said, "Are you still coming to these meetings? Don't you know your project's already been awarded and that you don't have to worry about it?" And I jokingly said, "Well, that's because I can always come up with something else to ask for." So I'll continue to come. And I don't know if you like that or not, but he certainly isn't going to get rid of me that easy. And that's, of course, what led to us seeing him again at the overpass groundbreaking yesterday. What a monumental day. Congratulations to all of you. This is 15 years worth of work. You may not have been here 15 years, but it is 15 years worth of work, and that culmination point, I cannot even tell you. People think that the work is done in the construction. The construction is the icing on the cake. It's the baking of the cake that is so difficult. It's the deciding of what that cake looks like. It's the deciding of what colors and what flavors, where it's supposed to be, what shape it is, and then the ingredients that go into it. And all of that is the behind the scenes work that you never see. The meetings in Washington, the meetings with ADOT, the meetings with directors and government officials, both at the federal and state level. It is so difficult to get these types of projects through. And it sounds like a long time, 15 years, and it is. That's the entire time we've been a city, an incorporated city. But I'll tell you what, that if we hadn't landed some of the things that we have done, if we didn't land a Tiger grant, if you were there, you heard Carla Petty, who is the Federal Highway Administration's representative here on the state side. She said, you know, some of those things, there were only 39 out of 650 roughly that were applied for. 39, and Arizona got 2 of them. City of Phoenix was 1, and we were the other. That's pretty impressive in 2015. So just so you know that those are such highly competitive grants. You know that it's easier to get into Harvard University than it is to get a Tiger grant? So again, congratulations, you're all pretty smart people. You got a Tiger grant over getting into Harvard. That's pretty awesome, so great job. But I just wanted to say thank you again for your patience. Now, again, more patience is required. More patience as we build it, as we deal with traffic delays. And then as we move to the next stage, which is now we've finished one project, how do we move on to the other? How do we widen 347? How do we deal with the, you know, the overpasses that are needed there? How do we bring together those partnerships that are required with Gila River and ADOT and their funding and Maricopa County? Those are all challenging things, but again, if we can do this with an overpass, with Federal Highway Administration, with the federal rail involved, then working with those partners that we've already proven that we can lead this, and we come with funding this time, it really should be even an easier process. But I do hesitate to think that if we hadn't landed that Tiger grant, if we hadn't put money into it, the project ourselves, we would be waiting probably another 5 to 15 years before we'd see this overpass happen in Maricopa. That's how long big, large road construction projects take. So it's a real big deal. I think we have a video about a short video on yesterday's groundbreaking, so we want to show that to you here.
There were a number of people that contributed to this. In fact, I would say that it was the entire community. But for every community, there has to be leadership. And without leadership, not much happens, and certainly this project wouldn't have happened. That leadership that exemplifies Maricopa grit. That leadership that said, it's not going to happen in 20 years, it's going to happen now. Now, all of us looked at him and said, oh my God, I don't know if that's going to work. But such commitment, such dedication. You know, I am so honored to have had the privilege, and still for a little while longer, to work with just an amazing council and an amazing staff.
What happens to a dream deferred? Does it dry up like a raisin, just die, or just bloom? And today, this raisin of ours blooms, and we're very grateful that it's blooming.
I've been an active citizen here since 2006, and I can tell you that every time I either got to talk to a staff member or a council member, the 347 overpass was a topic of conversation. It's really great, I think, that we can all be here today to be a part of history. Maricopa, I was talking to some folks from the Historical Society before we got started this morning, and there's just so many things we can celebrate about our proud history, but this is so cool that we get to be part of our future and our present history.
I know that there may be some people in the crowd who aren't aware of what does this overpass bring, what are the benefits. It definitely brings public safety, right? Most of us know that there was a school bus that was actually stopped on the tracks. Thank goodness there were no children in it. Thank goodness it all ended up with a happy ending, but we don't want any of that. Public safety is really keen. Being able to get our police, our fire department, our ambulances over the railroad tracks with ease is of huge significance.
If it wasn't for the previous council members, the previous work that Chin also did with us to make sure that this got done, we wouldn't be standing here today. So I want to thank everyone, and I'm still going to be praying on it because we're going to need a lot of patience from the community members.
I come before you today to say thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much for this. And when that time comes, when you'll traverse the 347 overpass to get home in 5 minutes instead of 20, I want you to say, thank you, City of Maricopa, for making that happen.
We understand the need for the overpass, and we're going to understand even more the need for the 347 expansion as it comes. So the work starts today, but it doesn't end for a very long time. We have a lot of work ahead of us to make Maricopa what it needs to be and show that true grit that Maricopa has.
This was one of 39 selected out of 627 applications. You should be proud. The $15 million Tiger Grant Award is a significant achievement, and we recognize the mayor, the previous mayors, the city council's perseverance in pursuing this grant. I know it wasn't just a one-time shot. So again, you've got a great commitment here from your elected officials.
This project was years in the making and could not have been accomplished without the tremendous cooperation of not only the Maricopa, but our federal, state, and local partners. I know that ADOT was excited to be a key participant in this project and look forward to not only shoveling dirt today, but beginning on construction and moving forward.
I served 2 terms on the Chandler City Council, and I can tell you, we don't do this for the pay. So thank you, Mayor Price, and congratulations to all of you, but every time I drive State Route 347, I know we have work left to do.
At ADOT, our mission is connecting Arizona. Everyone, every day, everywhere. And this is our next step in getting that done. You've heard a lot about partnerships, and that's what it takes to do these. A partnership for funding. I don't believe we would have got the Tiger Grant unless we can all come together as a partner to make it happen. It took a partnership to get it designed with our designer, EPG, to make that happen, and the ADOT folks. And it's going to take a partnership with our contractor, Ames Construction, to deliver it in. So all of you that worked in this partnership, I thank you, and we're going to get this done.
I remember talking to Kelly Anderson my very first day as mayor, and we talked about all the things that we needed to do, and we talked about this need that existed for this overpass. And for someone that has lived here his whole life, he would tell me about the different things that had happened at this crossing and the many things that we've tried to accomplish. And it sounds like it's easy enough, right? We have a need. Why don't we just build something, right? That's how it works. It doesn't work quite that simple. And what you see come out of the ground when you see a building, it's probably because it's already been in the works for the past 5 years. When we're here today on this momentous and historic day, it's not because we're just decided that yesterday we needed an overpass and we just finally got around to doing it. It's because it's been in the works for 15 years. It takes perseverance. It takes an immense amount of working together and not giving up. It takes cross administrations. It takes councils that see the big picture and the vision. It takes a community that has patience and will move forward to do things against all the odds.
Here we go. Everybody look out. 1, 2, 3, let's go.
So thank you and congratulations. We'll start construction on that overpass, as I understand it, in January. So I'll give you a break for the holidays and then the fun begins. All right, thank you. That concludes the report from the mayor. We'll move to the report from the city manager.
Honorable Mayor, council members, only one item. We're going to ask to pull item 9.1 as that is simply a request for approval of the contract and not for contingency funding. That concludes my report.
Perfect. We'll move that to right before the item, right after we get to item 10, so 9.1. Excellent. All right, that takes us to the call to the public. At this time, I have 3 speaker cards, so I would ask that those folks that I call approach the podium first. You have a 3-minute timer up here, so we ask that you be respectful of the timer. Joe and Shannon, please come forward. And please just be aware that we'd love to hear from you, but if you have questions that you need from us answered at this moment, we can't answer because it's not agendized, but we do want to hear from you, and we'll make sure you get answers if you have.
We understand that. We're just here to roll something out to you.
Awesome.
For those who don't know me, I'm Joe Saltisic, and I teach at Maricopa Wells Middle School in the Blended Learning Program, and this is one of my close colleagues, Miss Shannon Hall. She teaches at our sister school in the Blended Learning Program. And this summer, we got together to write some curriculum for our social studies. And Mrs. Hall has taken the social studies the last 2 years and kind of developed her own style with it. And one of the things we always try to do in the blended program is focus on project-based learning. So inspired by the town of Providence, Rhode Island, or the city of Providence, we devised a project in which the kids would sort of design a memorial for past, current, and future veterans, so to speak. And we were hoping that we could work with professionals in the community as part of this project-based outreach to design those memorials and possibly even erect one in the city of Maricopa. We're not here to seek money from the city or anything like that. We would find a funding source. However, it is a long project, and we're kind of just seeking your support. We did take the kids to the state capitol recently to view the memorials out there and view some of the things inside the museum, sort of for inspiration. And it's just something that I think could really benefit the community and be a centerpiece for the community and really honor some wonderful people who have served us. And it's just always something that we want to do when we write curriculum is get the community involved. So recently we did do sort of a test run with one of the classes, and you'll see some of the samples in there. Obviously we'll do some more reteaching and redesigning and things like that. So we're just here today to kind of roll it out to you guys and see if it's something you're interested in working with us. It's a great learning opportunity for the kids. I know Mrs. Hall has been just amazing when it comes to veteran support. She's organized sock drives at school. She has many veterans that come in to speak to the kids. We've done a lot of that stuff at Wells as far as, drives and things. But this was kind of the culminating lesson that we wanted to do to honor those veterans. And it's a big part of our curriculum, and we hope to get some help from you guys as well as far as some ideas. Do you want to introduce our your wonderful students here?
Hi, I'm Shannon Hall from Desert Wind. I don't think you mentioned Desert Wind. Okay, go Tigers. So see, these are some of my kids that came along with us tonight. Molly, she's the one who wrote the proposal letter to you. Danielle, hers is the first proposal on there. And Gavin, he's just our all-around veteran supporter. And so they came along with us tonight just to kind of show support. We do partner with our veterans, with the VFW, with the American Legion. We were in the parade. We do things with our veterans here. And our kids just see a need, that we need something here in Maricopa. We need something to go to. People need something to go to basically gather and honor those who have served or who are serving. So you'll see some examples there. We're going to get you many more if we can move forward with this. But our kids are really the driving force with this to want to have something for the city of Maricopa.
Awesome.
I just wanted to say thank you, I guess.
Thank you very much.
Okay, I won't take much of our time. Thank you.
Thank you. We appreciate it. Great job.
Mayor,
Go Nerds.
I know we don't usually speak at these events, but it's so cool to, they had approached me with this project, and I asked them to come to City Council and speak on it, and it's so exciting to see the youth involved in this community event. And one of my former students involved in this event also. I used to teach at one of the schools, and she was one of our students, one of my students. So it's very important, and that's the only comment I have. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yes, and make sure, and I know if you've already talked to Councilwoman Gussie, but Sarah, raise your hand. She's our staff liaison to the Veterans Affairs Committee. So let's start there, and we'll continue to work together. But yeah, with arts, cultural affairs, our youth commission, there's a whole bunch of different avenues. So we certainly want to open that up, and thank you very much for the idea. We appreciate it. The next speaker card I have at this time is Andre.
Thank you very much for giving me a few moments to speak. My name is Andre Lafond, and I'm announcing that I'm running for the position of constable for Maricopa Stanfield Justice Precinct 4. I've been a resident in Maricopa for the past few years, and wherever I've lived, I've tried to become a better part of the community. I'm a third-generation Eagle Scout. My grandfather and father after him, and I was raised in an environment of community service and sacrifice for others first. I wish to bring that to the position of constable for you. I currently work in the private security asset protection field. I'm a district director for a major retailer. I deal with issues of legality, criminality, and customer service on a very regular basis, which form the basic tenets of how a constable is to approach a situation and the difficulties that they come across. I've had the pleasure of shadowing and doing a ride-along with a major constable in the Maricopa County area. I'm sorry, dry throat. Maricopa County area. And I do hope that if you have any questions, please, I'll be available after the meeting. I am happy to talk to any of you, and you will see me around the neighborhood. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Andre. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
The next one we have on deck is Gabby Potter.
Hi, good evening. My name is Gabby Potter, and I'm with the American Legion Auxiliary. We are wives, daughters, granddaughters of veterans, and we're here just to thank you all for your support on Veterans Day celebration. So we had a wonderful turnout for the parade, and also we had a luncheon and a program for all the veterans, and it was just great to see the community and participants coming together, you know, from different areas, not just from Maricopa, but from Casa Grande, Chandler, and even Santa Valley. We got our friends from Action Community that came to support our first Veterans Day parade. So we are just really thankful to everybody that, you know, to help us to make this possible. We want to give a special thanks to Naisha Whitman that helped us through the planning on this event. Brandy, we also had Deputy Fire Marshal Eddie Rodriguez and Police Commander James Hughes that helped us all through the planning. So thank you so much for all your support, for assisting, and, you know, to all the community. Thank you so much.
Thank you. That concludes the speaker cards, but if anyone else would like to approach the podium at this time, we'd welcome you to do so. Okay, seeing no one, we'll go ahead and conclude the call to the public and move on to the formal agenda here. Council, we have item 7, which is the minutes. We have items 7.1 and 7.2. Can I have a motion to approve, please?
So moved. Second.
Have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion on the minutes at this time? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? That motion carries. We have no public hearings at this time, so we'll move on to the consent agenda. Please recall that the consent agenda is minus item 9.1, so I need a motion to approve items 9.2 through 9.4, please.
So moved, Mr. Mayor.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and seconded. Any further discussion on these items? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And that motion passes. That'll take us to item 9.1. The mayor and city council shall discuss and possibly take action on the request by the purchasing manager to approve the First Amendment to the contract with the Policy Development Group. And this was previously questioned in the work session about why this was coming from contingency. There was an answer by the city manager that due to cost savings internally, it was an oversight in the budget this year, but in cost savings, there was no need to pull from contingency, as if that is correct still from finance.
That is correct.
And so therefore we will be moving to approve this but not the transfer. So if anyone makes a motion, please approve this item but not the monetary transfer, because it will be using inside dollars rather than contingency dollars. So is there a motion to approve this item?
May
Go ahead. There's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second. Did you have a question?
No, I just wanted to know if you wanted us to stipulate that it would not be a transfer from contingency.
Yes. Yes, we do. So did you? Okay. So we have it motioned with no transfer contingency. We have it seconded. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? That motion carries. Thank you. And I know Todd Bauman is here in the back. Raise your hand, Todd. Todd has been absolutely key and instrumental this year in making sure that we have access to our state legislators. So we really appreciate it, Todd. Thank you very much for all you do. That takes us to the regular agenda. It'll take us to item 10.1. The mayor and city council shall discuss and possibly take action on accepting the new intergovernmental agreement for the regional metropolitan Phoenix Fire Service automatic aid. This is for discussion and action. Brady, we'll give it to you.
Mayor, Council, this is an agreement that we have had since about 2007. It has not been really adjusted since then. It was determined that we needed to clarify some things and add a little bit of teeth to it, but it is instrumental in providing consistent training across the board with all of our consortium members.
Thank you, Chief Leffler. Appreciate it. Any questions on this item? It's pretty straightforward.
Mayor, I move to approve item 10.1.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion on this item? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? That motion carries.
Thank you.
And I just wanted to announce that Councilmember Smith, again, who's on the phone, is also watching this at the moment. There's a little bit of a delay, but she's also approved the minutes and the consent agenda as well as item 9.1. So I'll let you know if anything comes into the contrary here. With that takes us to item 9.2. The Mayor and City Council shall hear a Maricopa Chamber of Commerce 4-month update. This is for discussion only. Terry, come on up and take it away.
Greetings, Honorable Mayor, members of the council. I'd like to thank City Manager Rose for encouraging me to do this. I'd also like to thank the members of the Chamber Board that are with me here tonight. Ex officio past chair Susie Miller, Glenda Kelly, and Tammy Johnson, who is our secretary. So I just want to acknowledge them and thank them. You know, Chamber is all volunteer board, and the Chamber Board's worked very, very hard for the last few years, keeping the Chamber going. I just want to give a brief history, it won't take long. You know, Chamber's been around since 1998, and you know, saw tremendous amounts of growth through, you know, the height of the boom. Our membership was up to about 350 at the end of 2010, and there were some shifts in leadership, and you know, we're starting to see a comeback. So we're righting the ship. So how do I do this? What do I push? Green button. The green button. Aha!
Perfect.
Okay, so this is just a financial update for the first part of our current fiscal year, July through October 2017. Just revenue and income. So our revenue is up over the year. The Chamber is debt-free, and we run pretty lean. We do show a small profit for the month of October, but this is just a small overall loss for the year. We'll see a transition in that in November as we recognize revenue from our Chamber directory. Our membership's increasing after a small decline. Average membership fee revenue is $300. The average membership size is 0 to 5 employees. You know, we are the conduit for small business, but you can see that, you know, our membership is steadily increasing. Some existing program growth. The Chamber's networking breakfast is starting to gain momentum again. It's gone from 30 to about 50 each month, and the addition of relevant speakers that speak on current best day topics have been really well received. In January, we'll have the Honorable Mayor Price in the house, and so I expect everybody to be there. So I expect 100 people at my breakfast. And in February, we're going to have a special motivational speaker, Eric Swanson. So Chamber evening mixers, you know, they were kind of struggling a little bit and were hit and miss. Well, now we're all about location, location, location. And we have mixers scheduled into next year. We're out through March now since I built these slides. And our Big Q luncheon, this event's just a mainstay, small networking luncheon. That's the passion of Susie Miller. She does an awesome job taking care of that luncheon for us. And about 15 to 20 people attend that luncheon, on a monthly basis. One of my favorite events that I get to do are ribbon cuttings, and we have had quite a few ribbon cuttings the past few months. We just had Longevity Athletics, who's a great success story on a small business that's gone from their house to from their garage to a small location to a larger location. And this is really what we like to see in the Chamber and in the city of Maricopa, because we want to get those businesses out of their houses. And then we had Breeze Lulu LaRue, ribbon cutting celebrating their 1-year anniversary. Adobe Blinds. She just keeps growing, and this is a great partnership between Maricopa Renovations, and it's a great example of businesses co-locating in the same location to share rent costs, and also, like-minded businesses that complement each other. And then Empire Escrow. And then we have coming up next week the Duke Plaza, which used to formerly called Maricopa Manor. Where the big clock is, the clock tower. So that has new ownership, and some new businesses are going in there, so we're excited about that. So this is our third year of collaborating with city staff on State of the City, and it was my honor to be involved in that this year. We sold out of sponsorships, and we could have sold many more if we had more available to us. We currently have a reserve of $1,444 committed for 2018, and a pool of sponsors above and beyond what's listed here, ready to tee up for next year. So next year we're going to have just a blowout event. So be ready.
I'll be ready.
I want to zip line with you.
Okay, we'll work on that.
All right. So we had a business expo in October, and we had about 50 vendors, 7 sponsors, 5 title sponsors. We generated about $3,300 in net revenue. Vendor participation was great. There was great energy at the event. Community participation was low due to quite a few competing events that day. I think that the idea of having a community calendar is phenomenal. I don't know why we didn't think of it sooner. So 2017-2018 business directory. So this is the first directory we've done since 2014, which is going to include history and some new resident information, and it will generate some much needed income. So you can see by the small financial statement attached that we cautiously estimated a net income of $6,250. We're going to net out right around $16,500. So I think that that's a true testament of how the members wanted this publication, and I want to thank the city for supporting us in that. So other collaborations that I would like to talk about, and one thing that I'd like to point out that I neglected to put on the slide is our Government Affairs Committee. I'd like to thank Councilmember Smith for participating in that, City Staff Dale Wabash, Denise Earhart, and Police Chief Stahl. This meeting has become one of the most dynamic meetings that we have at the Chamber office right now, and we are able to connect business to legislators and business to City Council in a neutral environment, and some of the conversations that have come out of that have been amazing, and we've really been able to impact some small change and help some business. So I look forward to carrying on with that. We've also partnered with Economic Development to help market and be a cheerleader for the Copa Bingo project. Thank you, Gregory, for our monthly meeting with the city manager. I think that that's very beneficial in connecting the bridge between the chamber and the city. I'm going to get you in those site visits, sir.
I'm in.
We also are working with the Maricopa Hispanic Chamber, and we're developing a business alliance, which is going to be a committee of Hispanic Chamber members and Maricopa Chamber members, so we're still working on what that all looks like, but it is in the works. We helped MCE market the pitch contest, and we're helping MCE and participating in their Maricopa Marketplace event. And we're currently partnering with the SBDC to put on some seminars. The first one is next week. Google getting found on Google Search Maps. We have about 25 people registered for that. These are going to be free seminars, so join us. Just RSVP so we know. So looking ahead to 2018, so our number one thing on our 2018 agenda is to manage the Maricopa Center for Entrepreneurship. So in our preparation to submit the RSOQ, the Chamber has developed a partnership with the leading organization in the nation that of developing the concept of co-working incubator space, New Work Cities. We have a member that sponsored our consulting partnership with them so that we can be ready out the gate and have strong support behind us. as well as partnering with other co-working spaces, organizations within the greater Phoenix area. Our goal is to expand the business incubator from the existing space to have 2 spaces, but you'll hear about that later. Our business development series is going to be a series of quarterly 90-minute seminars. So understanding Maricopa's commercial real estate market is going to be in January. It's January 25th. We have Trent Rustins coming out to talk about that, along with Steve Durkee to kind of explain the difference in the different kind of market we have. City of Maricopa, first steps to your own business. We're going to do that in March. Arizona use tax reporting, all business needs that. We're going to do that in June. I'm working on a State of the County luncheon in May. Supervisor Smith's agreed to do that, so that'll be a big event. And then Stagecoach Days. The Chamber's really excited to try to bring back a 3-day park event, utilize Pecana Park like we have in the past, with historic reenactments, vendor booths, so whiskey tasting, craft beer. We're partnering and working with the Historical Society to pull that all together. And all agree that grow business.
Councilmember Japata.
Thanks for that presentation every month, but you're also increase that
Chamber at that time to be kind of cliquish, not really supportive, but because I wasn't somebody that anybody knew. But I have seen a transformation that has taken place since you've been back here at the Chamber, and I appreciate that, and I'm hopeful that other people, as you said, will come back and come back into the fold. I think you got a good program going, and I thank you for putting forth the effort you are.
Thank you, sir. I'm hopeful as well.
Councilmember Gussie.
I share the same sentiment. I'm glad that you're back. I was here since you were here, and back in the day. My question has to do more with the finances. There was an article that a transparency claim was filed against the Maricopa Chamber of Commerce, and the plaintiff was billed $18,000. How much did you have to expend for that specific claim, and does that reflect in your current total income here and expenses?
The Chamber didn't bill the plaintiff for those funds, the insurance company did. The Chamber was out of pocket $1,000, which was our insurance deductible, and that is reflected in the prior year financials.
All right, thank you. And I did have another follow-up question regarding one of your slides. You had mentioned that for the state of the city, did you solicit all the sponsors on this list?
Most of them. Some of them just came to us.
And when you say you could have had more, why didn't you?
Because we only had so many at each level available to sell. Like 7, I think it was 7 at the $750 level, 5 at the $500 level, and we sold out of them.
So who gave you the cap?
The mayor.
Yeah, so basically what we did is working closely with staff in this is that each year we have increased to that level. So the very first year was to create kind of a sense of exclusivity, and so I think we only did 4 or 5 and basically said, let's see how this goes. The second year we did it, we had it sell out very quickly, and so here in the third year we increased that range to see if we could add even more, and they sold out faster than we ever anticipated, so that's a good thing.
Yes, it's definitely a good thing.
I had people approaching me saying, put me on the list for next year.
Should the chamber capitalize? What I mean is, did the chamber gain anything from going out and soliciting?
The chamber gained goodwill in working with the city.
Excellent. And are all these sponsors listed here, are they all chamber members?
A couple aren't, but most are.
Most are?
Most are.
Okay. And my last question is, I have already asked that question, did you gain anything from the collaboration? But that was it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And just for clarification, part of the prerequisite in working with the chamber was that anything we did with them, it had to be open to any business in the city or outside of the city. Anyone who wanted to participate is completely open to anybody. So we didn't want to provide exclusivity for just chamber members, because that seemed that we would exclude so many potential businesses. In fact, if you look at some of those that are this year or past years, they have actually been from Casa Grande, and that's really what we're trying to do, is we're trying to expand this regionally to where we're getting these folks that want to come in that, if they join this chamber or some other business networking group or something else, but that they're having exposure in Maricopa and hopefully bringing their business here. So that's certainly the goal, is that we're not trying to provide any carve out for anybody, but anybody who wants to, from a business perspective, has the opportunity to.
Absolutely.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, go
I had
ahead.
one more. You had mentioned that, I know that the courts decided that the plaintiff was going to be billed $18,000. Does that $18,000 come back to your coffers?
No.
How much of that will be coming back?
Maybe $1,000.
If that.
Our deductible. The insurance
Okay.
company is trying to reclaim what they spent.
Okay. All right.
The chamber could never have done that.
Could never have
No.
received that now.
Oh,
All
no.
right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes, Councilmember Chapados.
Terry, I thought of another question. With your previous experience here with the chamber, and then going away for a few years and coming back, from your perspective, what's the biggest change that you see? What do you see as one of our primary challenges from a small business perspective? And with regard to the new business recruitment and retention and business visits and stuff, I thought I heard you say the mayor, the city manager. Did I miss economic development? But what's your plan there?
I'm working on a plan with the mayor to do business site visits they're kind of a feel-good site visit, so we haven't quite gotten together to iron out all those details yet, but the premise is that once a month or every week or whatever the time frame is, that we go and we tour a business here in town. And then the mayor gets to meet with the owner. The owners are very proud and honored that this attention's being paid to them, by the mayor. And we just walk through and have a meeting, and it's all very casual, and they can be chamber members or not. I did a similar program in California where we had our U.S. congressman. I used to take him around different places and tour, and the business owners love it. And I just think it was just a great way to show goodwill and collaboration between the city.
Okay.
So I wasn't trying to exclude economic development, it's just we haven't gotten all the pieces together yet.
Okay. And then my other question, what do you see as the biggest change coming back after being away for those years? And what do you see as our biggest challenge in terms of serving their small businesses?
Well, it's nice to see all those houses that used to be boarded up, not so boarded up anymore, and people moving into town and some houses being built again. So the changes are all infrastructure related, Copper Sky. You hear this all the time, and as a city councilwoman, I'm sure, we just need retail space or rentable space for small business to encourage them to get out of their homes. Now, one of my goals is to get people to come and speak like Aaron Gilbert, who did the longevity, have them come to speak to chamber members on how he did it. Because the hardest stretch for a small business owner is making that leap from their house or their garage, right, to an actual retail location and taking on the commitment. And it's all about, marketing and time management and having a balance sheet and knowing how to read it. But I'd like it for them to hear from him firsthand kind of how he did it, because I think that it crosses all industries. It doesn't matter whether you're a gym or an accountant, the philosophies are the same on how you need to run your business. But I think that is one of the biggest challenges for our local small businesses. That, and we need, it's like the chicken or the egg thing, right? Like, we need people that work in town that'll shop in town, because I love shop local programs, and we've done shop local programs here forever. The challenge is that, if I'm, Jane homeowner, and I leave and I go work in Tempe, I'm going to go to Target, or I'm going to go wherever in Tempe near my job to shop and possibly go to the dentist rather than wait to come home to do it. So we need to find ways to keep people closer to home. That was a long answer, I'm sorry.
That's okay, thank you.
Yes, Councilwoman Gussie.
And I wanted to add to your question. I'm glad that you left, and I'm glad that you came back. I think without that educational piece that you came back with. I don't think the collaboration, I sit on the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. The Maricopa Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. And as a board member and also as an initiator who got this rolling, and the conversations that I've had with you, you have some great ideas, and I don't think you would have had those great ideas if you would have stayed here in Maricopa.
Oh, absolutely
I think
not.
those great ideas came from California, working with Latino-owned businesses, and you're coming back with some great ideas and that collaboration that I don't think we could have had that collaboration if it was anyone else other than you as the CEO of the chamber. So I thank you for coming back, and I thank you for all the ideas, and I'm looking forward to the collaboration that the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce will be having with you.
Thank you. I learned a lot.
Perfect. Any other questions, council, for Terry at this time? Thank you, Terry. We appreciate the presentation.
sir.
Thank you so much. That concludes our session this evening. Thank you for sticking it out with us. And again, have a happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy your holidays as we move into that season. And council, can I have a motion to return to E-session, please?
So moved.
Is there a second? Second. It's a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? That motion carries. Thank you.